Everything begins with a single step. From the time you are born to the time you die, every journey you take in between has to begin with that step. This got me onto the idea of how one character can be manipulated to take the right step and create the perfect story. Take a young toddler, for example. He is naive to the world and thinks that his life is just the best. And he's only at the beginning of his life, and this really is his introduction to the world. Now, throw in some misadventure. A challenge, let's say. Right now, he is too young to understand, but some years down the track, the challenge will hit him hard. See, I worked it out. A good character, in the right setting, has to evoke emotions on the audience. If they don't, then they're not a very good character. Look at him now. He's 8 or 9, and the difficulties are becoming more prominent in his life, and starts affecting his moods. When he's good, he's very good. When he's bad, he's awful. And then there are the times when he just sits there and does nothing. Now this character, you're going to feel sorry for him. You're going to feel bad for him and think, what a waste of a young life, and I hope he pulls through. And that's where we have the choice. See, in every good story, the character has to make a choice, and that choice can screw them up completely, or completely fix them. Take Darth Vader, for example. He was lucky enough to get to make his choice twice. The first time, he made a big mistake, and turned to the dark side. He lost all his friends, and filled himself with hatred. And the second, well, he made the right choice. He saved the universe, but died because of it. Now this boy has a choice, whether he wants to crumble under pressure or keep fighting through the challenge. Of course, to create suspense, you don't let him make the choice straight away. You drag it out, showing how he suffers and how he almost screws his life up. But then, to rush the story on and keep the interest, you throw in people who can help and who want to help. 2 people come in. One is a teacher who sees promise. The other, an archery coach who sees talent. Now, being a 15, 16-year-old, he wants nothing more than to fit in with those his age. So he rejects the help and tries to find his own path. They help, however, and he continues to ride the challenge out. So now we have created a climactic effect. He is now on the rise, and he knows it, and the audience knows it, and we all hope on his behalf that it'll work out. And then in comes a devastating blow. The archery coach passes. He never let anything stop him. He even went to the Paralympics, and he was a real inspiration, more than anyone could guess. For a while, it looks like all the knowledge will be wasted, because he gave up. He forgot that you would always have to fight, and what happens, happens. You cannot control it. But a fire lights in his heart again, and he fights back, knowing that he cannot give up, that this challenge will not beat him. That's another thing about good, strong characters. They have to want something. If they don't, the story will be boring, and you'll stop paying attention. It doesn't have to be evident in the beginning, of course, but by this time in the story, it should be clear. The boy, now early 20s, wants to win a gold medal in an archery match. He is determined and ready to prove everything that he had been taught had been worth it. He is prepared and knows that he has a good chance of winning. Here, the audience starts feeling triumphant for the character. You sit on the edge of your seats, waiting and watching, to see if he can finally make it. The man shoots arrow after arrow and gets to the final match. This was it. It was what he had been waiting for. This was where he could overtake this milestone that had started all those years ago. Now at this point, you should be euphoric. The character you have been paying attention to for all this time has now succeeded. But all of you sitting there will be wondering, why am I talking about this story this way? And why I didn't add any twists and turns into it, like the typical films do these days. Well, to tell you the truth, it's not actually my story to tell you. You see, the young man I've been referring to, he was my younger brother. He was always the centre of attention because of his condition. I suppose you can call this my tribute to him, because he really had perfect character for this type of, how do I say it, character eulogy. His story is the perfect story to evoke the emotions that I wanted to evoke. As for how this one ended, well, I'm going to do this annoying thing in story history and not tell you. Why? Because it's not part of the story. My brother always told me you have to fight for what you want. You have to take the first step to make this happen. That's why I'm here now, to pass the knowledge on. So the ending becomes unimportant. You really want to know, don't you?
Said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, when a moment came that stopped me on a dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in that this might really be the real end. How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? Man, what'd you do? And he said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying.